Hi guys, and welcome to this week's collective reading. If you've been following my collective readings, you'll know that normally I use the same two decks in these collective readings. There have been minor changes here and there, but for the most part, I go back to the same two decks. With that said, we've just had a wheel turn. Where I live, it was the autumn equinox yesterday. I know for some of you, it will be the spring equinox. But irregardless, I felt very called to work with a more earthy tarot deck this week, and I expect to stick with this earthy tarot deck in the weeks to come for this next period of time. That being said, I did sit with all of my decks, and it still felt right to use the Lemurian Starchild Oracle deck. I do feel like its time in these collective readings is coming close to its end, but I feel like we'll just be transitioning by using this earthy tarot deck for a while, and when it's the right time, the Oracle deck will switch out as well. But I did feel into it, and it still felt like the right one to pull from this week. So I just wanted to share my thought process and what felt right, because this will be the two main decks that I will be working with probably for the next few readings until it's time for the Lemurian Starchild to be swapped out, and we'll just see what decides to take its place. So we'll just move on to the reading now. So our first card has this message, Emergence, on it. And it says right on it, celebrate sensuality, joy, right to enjoy, and truly living. This is all about the sacral chakra and just being, right? This is the energy of resolving the parts of ourselves that we've hidden away and suppressed over our lifetime or even lifetimes. It's all the times that we've changed our behavior, even in tiny ways, to feel comfort in how we are perceived by others. So it's not even necessarily how we've been asked to change. Oftentimes we choose to change ourselves. Ways that we make ourselves smaller or invisible. And this card is all about coming out of that shell and finding our wings. I have to admit, when this first came out, when I saw it, and then especially when this came out with it, I was a bit confused because it feels very much like a spring energy. But once I got to sit with the cards and feel the whole message together as one cohesive unit, it's blossomed into this beautiful meaning that makes so much sense. I really love it. So normally when I do these readings, they're done with a week ahead in mind, right? But I feel like this is pointing towards the work we will be doing as we turn inwards, right? As we've just celebrated the autumn equinox, as I've mentioned. It's like it's a preview of what's on the other side as we're entering this cocoon stage right now. But we're not caterpillars, right? So we don't emerge as butterflies in one fantastic moment. This is something that we begin to do the moment, like this emergence, It's something we begin to do the moment we start doing our reflective work, right? As we start healing these inner parts of ourselves, our emergence is a slower process that we'll be working through over a whole period of time, right? For us and our close family and our close friends, it will seem slow and steady. But when we bump into people that we don't see so often, right? If you bump into somebody come springtime, they will see you as a butterfly that's emerged. It's like this idea of people having these conversations of, have you seen so-and-so lately? Like, wow, they seem so different. There's something different about them. Maybe it's the way you carry yourself, the way you act, just feeling free in your own skin, right? This is about being who you're meant to be from the core of your beingness and feeling comfort in that so that you can shine your true light that we're meant to be sharing, and not just turning ourselves into small carbon copies of one another where we feel comfortable walking alongside everyone else because we don't stand out. This is about standing out. I mean, this is somebody who is standing out, right? And being okay with that standing out because you love who you are. You don't feel like you need to just be like everybody else and fall in line and not be noticed. And all it takes is being true to yourself, right? Now, moving into this card of the Mother reversed, it does kind of signify that this may not be the easiest process. It's not always sunshine and rainbows, right? And I'll never pretend it is. That being said, I am going to just read from the book for this deck because it has reversed meanings as well as past, present, future meanings attached to each card. And the write-up in the book is so perfect. So perfect. I do not wish to leave anything out, and I don't even wish to really add anything. I'm just going to read from it. I will give, let's say, a trigger warning that it's a bit more cutthroat. This is the shadow work that we're going into, right? This is where we need to go inwards and reflect on ourselves a bit more. So it's not always the most comfortable things that we're facing when we go into this shadow work. So if you're feeling very tender at the moment, it may not be the time for you to listen to this message. I do think it's important to hear if you feel called to these readings, but maybe come to it and approach it when you're not feeling so tender. So that's going to be my trigger warning, right? Into the book, I will read about it. The reversed mother can signal the presence of an aspect of self, our own self or that of another, that is devouring and cruel and uses psychological or emotional manipulation to instill guilt in her child for not meeting her expectations. When her disappointment is used as a weapon and a means to control and bind her children to her, the natural process of individualization may be kept from occurring. Receiving this reversed card asks you to ask if you have fallen into a pattern of using emotional manipulation to control others. Now keep in mind that we're also saying somebody may have done this to you. And this very much may reflect onto why you formed this outer shell that protects you that you now need to emerge from. But very much a lot of us continue this pattern of behavior because it's something ancestral that we need to work through to stop that, break that pattern in our line, right? So even if you were a victim to it, you may very well be perpetuating the same behavior. Is your hurt or disappointment genuine in trying to manipulate others, right? Or do you act in a deliberate manner to instill guilt and remorse in order to manipulate people into meeting your expectations of them? Another aspect of the reversed mother is evidenced by those who are willing to give their all and everything to others. These people seem consumed by the need to be needed and feel that it is their place and purpose in life to fix every wrong and make everyone happy. They get involved because if they do not, the situation will not be resolved. And leaving a situation unresolved is not something that they can tolerate. These people may be perpetually cooking, cleaning, and mothering others instead of allowing those they mother to learn to be responsible for themselves. Have you involved yourself in a situation that is really none of your concern because you want people around you to be happy, right? It comes from good intentions, but that doesn't make it good. Do you have a tendency to offer unasked for advice? Do you often act as a peacemaker or intermediary without being asked? Do you live your life constantly doing for others what they are capable of doing? Do you live through others? Do you give up your time to do for them what you should be doing for yourself? The reversed mother suggests that these things, while done with love, are still aspects of a controlling mother because they can prevent others from standing on their own 2 feet, resolving their own conflicts and becoming independent. Moreover, they are tasks performed to the detriment of nurturing self. Often, the very advice given to others is not adhered to by the person giving it because they are perpetually in service to others and neglect themselves. If the mother appears reversed, she symbolizes a situation that you need to step away from, or a relationship where you are exerting undue control or influence. Let go of your need to control or to be needed and ask yourself why you are compelled to behave in this manner. Sit back, put your feet up, and relax. Allow those around you to sort out their own dramas and pick up their own dirty laundry for a change, or they will never learn how and will always expect it to be done for them. Right. So like I said, it's a bit deeper. It cuts a bit deep. If anything was triggering in a way that you heard that message and you thought, ooh, that's not me, that's definitely not me. If you had like a extreme reaction, there is probably something that does resonate within you about it. If you felt kind of like about it, like, oh, I don't think that's me, then maybe it really isn't, right? But if you felt like a strong reaction to that message, there probably is something about it that you need to reflect on within yourself, something to heal within yourself that will aid you in this emergence process. And remember, we're saying that this is very much a process. Nature might show us symbolism that happens instantly, but for us, we will slowly be emerging. And it starts the second we start doing this reflective behavior, because the second we start doing this reflective behavior, it changes how we participate in our day-to-day life. So your emergence starts the second you're willing to accept a message like this and work on it, right? Work on improving ourselves, work on changing how you walk through your day, work on how we interact with people so that we can shine a truer light of who we are in a way that positively impacts everyone else, right? So I ended up pulling another card because I really felt like this needed something extra. And it's so funny because I got the Lilac Spirit Quartz, and if you noticed in the shuffle, when this popped out, I just grabbed my Lilac Spirit Quartz off from the side because I didn't have it on camera, but I did have it on my table because I was bringing in that energy. Because I've been working with the Lilac Spirit Quartz for just over a month now. When it came in one of the collective readings on this channel, I believe. It may have been on my Instagram, but I think it was actually here about a month ago. And I've been working with the Lilac Spirit Quartz since. And I actually just got this piece last week. So I didn't have it for last week's collective reading. Because it would have just come in. I think it came, I don't remember. I just got it this past week though. And I've been working with it, but I have other pieces of Lilac Spirit Quartz. I'm going off on a tangent. I'm losing my thought process. I have other pieces of Lilac Spirit Quartz that I have been working with, but this one I had right on the table because I've been working with her so much recently, the past few days. And she's come out in the cards, which is funny. So the message, like I said, she came out in our reading a month ago. It's all about community, healing divisions, teamwork, and freedom. And some people call this fairy quartz, as it brings through the energy and support of the fae, which if you have been following these, you'll know is a theme that keeps popping up this past month as well. So I find that delightful to know that their support is always there. And as you will see, this crystal has its one main point coming through the center. Well, this is actually kind of two because it's like a twin. It's got two main points. But it's covered with lots and lots and lots of tiny points that just go in every direction. Super sparkly and beautiful. But the symbolism of this, or how it spreads energy, is it radiates in every direction, but not in the way that a sphere would, right? A sphere radiates in every direction, in a very gentle, even way. Whereas you can imagine, because this is actually lots and lots of little points, it's radiating in every direction, but it's also like radiating in very direct ways. It's more like when the sun is shining and you've got rays of light beaming down. You can imagine that this has rays of energy beaming out of it, like in very exact points. So even though it's spreading its energy in every direction, every single individual energy stream that's coming from it is very exacting, not quite as soft, and like this would really softly fill a space. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it, but I think you guys probably understand, right? It's more giving you actual strands of energy, but there's so many points that one of these is bound to hit you, right? Multiple will. What this is seen as doing, lilac in general, is often associated with this earth healing quality. And the Lilac Spirit Quartz very much brings in this energy of healing the earth, which is a very fairy energy to begin with, because they work with the earth realm and they are the caretakers of the earth, right? And the earth, they are the earth spirits. Working with community, this is this idea that it's healing. It says on the card, healing, division, teamwork, and freedom. It's known for healing the environment. So not just the earth, right? But the people within it, because we are a part of earth. We live in earth, right? And It's this idea that in this healing process, lavender or lilac spirit quartz attracts to us our community. So it's meant to bring in our soul family, right? The people who you're meant to be surrounded by that just will resonate to you. So this is this same idea of emergence. It links back to it, where it's this idea that as you become more authentically true to yourself and you care less about how other people perceive you, you feel more comfortable and confident just being who you are meant to be, you will naturally attract the people who are meant to be in your life. But working with the lilac spirit quartz along in this process will help to support you in healing the environment around you so that you can more naturally embody this part of yourself and feeling comfortable in that process. And it will help you to attract your soul tribe, right? The people who are meant to be in your life so that you can be more authentic in who yourself and feel supported by the people who are around you. Because this process does often have a bit of a cleanup kind of a reaction, where as you become more authentic in yourself, you may see people drop away. But these are like really the people that you want to drop away. You never wanted them in your life if they can't appreciate you for who you really are. If you have to pretend to be somebody else to keep them in your life, you're not serving them, but they're not serving you, right? Nobody, it's just a bad match. So the energy of this whole reading is very much just this idea that as we work through our shadow aspects throughout this period of time, right? I feel like this is going to be the whole autumn going into the winter. I feel like we're really looking at like a 6-month period. Of course, other energies will fall in throughout that period, but I really feel like this is like a overarching, this is what we're working towards. As we go inwards, as we work on our shadows, what we're looking to do is to start emerging out as our truer, more authentic selves. And in that process, we will find our community, and we get to be these shining, beautiful beacons of light, right? But there's hard work in that process. But the beautiful thing is, like I had mentioned, in our reality, we don't just sit in a cocoon for the 3 to 6 months that we're looking at and then just suddenly one day pop out. You don't have to wait that long to pop out as someone new. The second you start doing that reflective work, you start slowly emerging. So our emergence will be slow and steady, but it actually starts today. It doesn't start in the spring. This is the irony, right? We want to get here at the spring, but to get here, we have to start right now, because we don't have instant transformations. They take work and they take time. But if you start to put in the work, you start to change today, right? I love that message. I hope you guys can receive this in a way that's not super triggering. I was a bit triggered by it, especially because this, when I say if you feel triggered by this middle card here, it probably is for a good reason. Like, that was me a bit, you know, I was reading it going, okay, there's a reason why I felt like I couldn't leave anything out, needed to read everything from the book. Because I definitely felt parts of myself that need to be worked on with this message as well. And I hope others are able to receive it in the same way, as a message that's here to help us, not to hurt us. And, you know, I'll see you guys on the other side with my wings ready to fly. Bye, guys.